Continuing this mother dutter. Oh, something that I wanted to mention, man. When I was talking about the weak, you gotta know that only weak people exist in hell. Only weak people exist in hell. How? Because in order for you to get to hell, you would have to fail the test in some shape, form, or fashion. You will have to fail the test in some shape, form, or fashion. Hell, a place where the weak is at. Sort of like them getting left back in school. While everybody is advancing forward, you get left behind in hell. Hell. Now you take a look and see how much weak life forces is on this planet. Hell. In fact, that's why they call it Earth. Pardon me. Earth is a code title for hell. Break it down for y'all. They call Earth, Earth, and yet they call Earth dirt. They would say that the dirt is Earth. Earth is another name for dirt. Well, let's examine this dirt. What is dirt? Dirt is a substance that is used to bury things. Earth, in regards to the dirt, is a substance that is used to bury things. Where did the word hell, mit, comes from? The word helmet or hell means to be buried. That's why they call it a helmet. You know what I mean? You bury your head in it like a damn ostrich. Straight up. Helmets, hats, all the same damn thing. You bury your head. So they call this Earth in regards to it not being a planet called Earth. Because the planet, the name of this planet, they would not reveal to you. You know what I mean? They codify everything. The name of this planet would never be revealed to the masses. But they codify it. Earth is hell. You call the planet Earth, but dirt is earth, and dirt is something that is used to bury. Therefore, we are buried. We're not ascending. It all got to do with placing a ceiling over a certain life force. And if we are, and we operating under the illusion that we somehow ascending because we go to these institutes, and notice that all of these institutes that you go to, what do they all have in common? Don't matter if you go to Harvard, don't matter if you go to Yale, it don't matter if you go to Mensa, don't matter if you go to MIT, don't matter if you go into a GED school. What do they all have in common? They all have a ceiling. Meaning that the amount of knowledge one would acquire in those institutes, in all institutes, is limited. The significance behind a ceiling, meaning that there is a limit to your ascension. Being trained just enough to sustain the matrix. The matrix. You know what I mean? And going into different institutes and learning certain things, that's an artificial way of increasing your intelligence. Because when you increase your intelligence, there is no limit to it. You go into this school to learn this, there's only a certain amount they will reveal to you. You go into this school to learn this, there's only a certain amount they will reveal to you. So you operating under the illusion that you're somehow becoming smarter. And let's identify this word smart, because smart doesn't mean anything. Smart doesn't mean that you're a genius. Smart just means that you have an ability to repeat what you heard or repeat what you have been taught. Smart people are well trained, in other words. When you're looking at smart people, they are well trained. That's why you will hear them talk about smart people way more than geniuses. You don't really hear them talking about geniuses. You will always hear them push smart people to the forefront. Because smart people would be like the mascot for a well-trained citizen of the Matrix. They have the ability to repeat anything that they learned like a damn robot because they don't think. They don't think. But the genius, on the other hand, now, the genius got the ability to figure things out. How do they figure things out? Because their pineal gland is online. The pineal gland is online. They got the ability to figure things out. But the smart people, you know, their pineal gland is underpowered. They don't even know the pineal gland exists. They only focus on what? The brain. Which is the instrument that's used to manipulate matter, the body. You know what I mean? It'd be like the main engine that's used to manipulate, or the main aspect of the body that's used to manipulate all parts of the body, the brain. But they don't talk about the geniuses, man. Because the geniuses are the ones who are out the matrix. They like the overseers. Because in order for you to figure things out, man, you got to be an overseer. You have to critically analyze and sit back and watch what's going on and observe and see things for what they are, instead of you sitting in some damn classroom sitting up here talking about, well, yeah, you know, the earth is round and well, yeah, it's 5,000 years old and you know what I'm saying, and dinosaurs is extinct and you know what I'm saying, and we came from Adam and Eve, and it doesn't make no damn sense, man. It don't make no sense once you sit down and analyze it. You know what I mean? Straight up. The geniuses are the ones who's connected to God. And I ain't talking about these fake geniuses that they also put out there. Like your Albert Einstein. He's a fake genius. You know what I'm saying? Or your Stephen Hawking. He's supposed to be a goddamn genius, but he can't figure out how to get out of a freaking wheelchair. Really? You're supposed to be the smartest man on the damn planet, But you can't figure out how to get out of a wheelchair? Come on, people. People be lying, man. Lying. That man is a fraud, son. He's a fraud. Straight up. Geniuses are connected with God. Are connected to God, should I say. They got that connection with the gods. And the gods, being the overseers, could send them telepathic messages to the genius. Hawkins ain't no damn genius. Albert Einstein, they ain't no genius. They ain't got no connection with God. They are intertwined with the matrix. Talking about a whole bunch of false quasi equations that ain't got nothing to do with reality. It only got to do with the matrix. Hitting you with some BS codes that they program to have certain effects in the matrix. So when you do it and you see it come to pass in the matrix, you be like, wow, this is real. No, it's not real. All he did was give you a command code for the matrix. And it works in the matrix. But you take it outside of the matrix, it don't work because it's not real. If it doesn't work outside the matrix, it's not real. If it works in the matrix, it's fake. Straight up. You know what I mean? So, earth is hell. Because dirt is earth and is meant to bury things. You know, like your trees, your plants, things of that nature. Crops. And people. Know what I mean? Straight up. Bury the bodies in earth because the bodies came from earth. That's why our ancestors, or so-called ancestors, never used to bury the bodies in earth. It always used to be above ground to show that we wasn't from here. It's all based on symbolism. But when you bury things in the earth, it shows that it's a part of the earth. We as the God race ain't part of the earth. We pure souls. How the hell could a soul come from earth and earth was created and the soul wasn't? The soul is energy. Energy can't be created. Earth was created. Earth is a hybrid. Suns is not created. Regardless of what scientists tells you that suns are created, that's BS. Suns always been in existence because they are real planets. Your fake planets that revolve around the sun, the soulless system, that was created for the hybrids. But the real solar system got to do with all the celestial bodies are suns. All of them. Every single last one of them. Could be 10, 20, 30, 50, a million. It could be 3. It could be 2. It could be 1. You know what I mean? Straight up. It's all about the damn sun. That's why they had the sun over temples. They ain't have no damn earth. If it was all about earth, why didn't they have earth over the temples? Out of all the types of celestial bodies that's out here in the freaking universe, you can't even put a number on that because the universe is infinite. So out of all of those damn bodies, and I say all loosely, because it ain't even all, because it keeps on going. But from the infinite celestial bodies they have out there in space, you mean to tell me that our peoples is only going to put the sun because, and they put it there because it doesn't really have a meaning? No, they put it there because that's what it is. That's the only real. That's the real planet. That's where we bout. We bout the damn sun. We are the soul beings. Soul. You know, soldiers. You know, that's a compound word. Soul die is one who died for the sun god and all that. Well, on a more deeper note is the soldiers of God, meaning the so-called black race. S-O-L for soul, which means sun. The so-called black race. But when you're looking at the minions now, the minions, M-I-N, min, is a deity of the moon. So when you're looking at the minions, you're looking at spirits. The spirits are the minions. And the soldiers are the ones who really are, who are the souls who have the connection to the sun, which is the real planet. Yo, man, y'all better take it, like I said, man, y'all better take a trip to the sun. Y'all better start sun gazing, man. You know, charge up the damn soul, man. Because you need energy to get to the sun. And you need energy to go in the sun. Straight up. But you ain't got to worry about no fear, man. That's the damn body, man. The body knows that it has a time limit on it. It knows that. That's how it was coded. But the soul now, man, we existed before numbers even came into existence. So we supersede numbers. We supersede this language that I'm speaking right now. This language was created. It is a hybrid. You don't see how all forms of communication that we're using down here are hybrids? It was all created. Now, why would we have a hybrid language to communicate with other people? Those people would have to be hybrids as well. They would have to be clones. They would have to be artificial. Take a look at the food. Damn near everything is artificial ingredients. That food wasn't entirely created to destroy the God race. That was created to perpetuate the human race. But as I stated before, what's fake for us is real for them. So it might be artificial foods that they eating, but that's like organic food that they eating. That's why I stated the most realist beings or things on this planet is the human race, because they actually being who they supposed to be. They supposed to be degenerates. They supposed to eat fake food. The fake food and stuff that they eat, that's organic for them. That's lunar light food that they eat. They eating lunar food that they eating. That fake food. They supposed to eat that. We as the God race, on the other hand, supposed to consume the foods of gods, which is condensed sunlight. It's being shot here to the planet. The only reason why organic food is on this planet is for the God race. The gods is sending a menu for us to consume. That's not for the humans. But because we ain't got order, the same way how the elites have the order on the planet and they make sure and ship hella genetically modified foods to each territory on the planet, because they know that the genetically modified foods, number one, they didn't create the genetically modified foods. The gods is the ones who created the genetically modified foods. So they will tell you some crap about some Monsanto created the genetically modified foods when that's a bunch of BS. The beast race ain't first to do a damn thing. God is always first to do everything. The gods is always first. So they are not creating the genetically modified foods. God is the ones who created the genetically modified foods. All they doing is replenishing it. They are prolonging the existence of the genetically modified foods. They are replenishing the foods. Gods is the ones who created the genetically modified foods for the genetically modified race, which would be the human beings. So the elites, they make sure and ship it out to the entire planet, because they know their peoples is all over the planet, so they got to put it out there. But they will tell you some BS theme, some propaganda where you know Monsanto out here with Agent Orange and, you know what I'm saying, Operation Blue Cheese, you know what I'm saying, and Buffalo Wings attack. They out here trying to kill the population. No, it's more easier for people to swallow that Monsanto is trying to kill people by way of genetically modified foods than the reality that God's created the genetically modified foods for the genetically modified race. Which one would be more easier to digest? That Monsanto is trying to kill people by way of creating fake foods, or that the gods created the fake foods for the fake race? Well, Monsanto would be hella a lot easier to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Because that other one, man, listen, ain't nobody ready for that. What the hell are you talking about? God's created the genetically modified food. You really think man got the intelligence to create something that God didn't already do? All man is doing is following what God did. He's replenishing something that God created eons ago. Eons. And the elites make sure that they eat the best foods. That's how the gods That's how we, the guard race, supposed to have it in order. We supposed to. You don't think these elites don't eat the freaking fake food, man. They eat that food that we, as the guard race, supposed to be eating. They eat the real food because they know what food really is. They know that food is not some damn taste bud satisfactory complex. They know that the food is cellular codes. They know that the food is being sent here from the sun and is a cellular BioWare update. It's codes that your cells consume. You feed your cells. When you eating, you're not eating because you the soul. We need to get this straight. When you eat foods, you are not feeding yourself. You, the self, are the soul or the spirit. So when you eat, you're not feeding yourself. What you are doing is downloading a new cellular program. You chewing the food only because you making it smaller so it could go through certain necessary tubes. That's the reason why you chew food. And your teeth are antennas. That's why it has those grooves in your teeth. So when you chewing the food, it's a form of scanning. You know what I mean? And you swallow the food and it goes through certain tubes and ventricles and conduits and things like that. And then your cells in your body, your trillions of cells, eat the food. In fact, at least 1/3 of your waste, 1/3 of your excrement, 1/3 of your dookie that you dookie out in the toilet bowl came from your cells. Now, how the hell it could come from the cells if the cells ain't eating the food that you swallow? Your cells eat, your organs eat, your bones, your tissue. That's what's eating. You ain't eating. You the soul not eating. The body is eating. You feeding the cells in your body a code or codes that came from the sun, and based on those codes, your cell would animate out what it needs to do. The elites know this. That's the main significance behind food. Never mind the smell or never mind the taste. It is cellular codes. You're eating a solar program when you eat organic foods. And the elites know this. That's why they make sure they eat the best foods. They make sure they plant their crops on the highest frequency of the planet. And they eat the best foods because they get in the solar codes. But they give you some foods that came out of a laboratory with a ceiling of intelligence on it. So now you see a whole bunch of people standing on the corner with tattoos eating a Kennedy Crown Fried Chicken. And they still can't figure out why they a damn coward. Eating a fake bird, wondering why you can't ascend. Eating your eggs, your bacon, your cheese with grits. All fake foods that have a certain level of intelligence in it. And when you consume that food, your cells now eat that food. And now based upon how that food was coded, your cells download that program. And now what? They got free radicals in your body. Your cells is crashing into each other. They're not even communicating with each other no more because they vibrating so low. They can't even, they don't have no more foresight. So they crashing into each other. They calling it free radicals. You know what I'm saying? Your heart is beating slow. Your pancreas is under power. Your lungs is like all congested. Your heart can't even communicate with the organs in your body. Your brain got mucus all in the neuronic canals where things supposed to be moving light speed. It's moving like a damn snail. That's why people always got to repeat things to you. They used to say something to somebody like, huh, what you say? What? Huh? What you harming for? Why I got to repeat something to you I already said loud and clear? That's because you got too much gunk up in your damn brain because you're eating slow food, making you a retard. Because you think food was put here for a feel good, to make it taste good. When food was put here to give cells a firmware update, A biological, bioware update that comes from the sun, constantly coming from the sun. Constantly. All your organic foods come from the sun. Cellular codes. You know what I mean? But it would be easier for people to accept some propaganda about some damn Monsanto. That's the matrix. Monsanto is the matrix. It's based in deception. Telling you that genetically modified foods was put here by some company, when in actuality, all they doing is replenishing what God already did. Because they need to eat that food. They the artificial race, but it's organic for them. You know what I mean? Straight up. Straight avocados, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, hell is earth. Earth is dirt. Dirt is a substance that is here to bury things. If you're looking to find some level of ascension within the matrix, man, listen. You're going to be here forever, man. You're going to be here for a long ass time, B. I better gaze at that sun. Communicate with the higher gods. Start eating the organic foods and get your instructions. You know what I mean? All the organic foods is here for the souls, man. And it's in abundance because that's how God deals. You might be saying like, damn, it's so much organic food out here. You know what I'm saying? And compared to the food, there's not really that many souls out here. But that's how God works. You got to know that when these people be telling you things about something is, like they would say the food or the crops is drying up. You know what I'm saying? They would talk about the crops is drying up. We losing this type of food you know what I'm saying? We got to ration it out. That only happens with fake food. That just means that they have exhausted the molecular remapping strand. That means it can no longer be remapped because they exhausted it. God is an infinite being. So therefore, anything that God does would be infinite until God pulls the plug and pushes it somewhere else. So don't look at it like, well, it's so much organic food out here compared to the souls. That's just how God does things. God does things with infinite potential because God is an infinite being. But when you see man now try to mimic what God do, he can't do it like God. It will be based in a realm of limitations because man is limited. So when you hear about crops drying up, then that's fake food. That means they can't replenish it no more. So they got to find another way. They got to see what else God created and start replenishing that. That's all that means, man. The same way how the genetically modified food strand will become exhausted is the same way how the DNA strand of the human race will become exhausted. Because when the humans procreate, that's no different than Monsanto remapping or replenishing more oranges. That's a form of sex magic, bringing things into existence, but it's being done artificially. So there's only a certain amount of times they could bring Agent Orange into existence before Agent Orange ceased to exist. Just like there's only a certain amount of times the humans could reprocreate, you know, the generation. You know, that generation all got to do with the genes. The genes of a nation. That's what the generation means. Gen comes from the word genes, which is genetics. And we all know what the damn the ration is. That's a code term for a nation. You see the term Ra in there, which all got to do with the sun, and that's a nation. That's associated with a nation. So when they're talking about a generation, they basically talking about a species, particular type of genes. Because the species would be a nation, a group of people or a group of life would be a nation, and the genes of that nation. So when they're talking about the generation, they talking about the genes of a nation and how long the genes of that nation would exist by way of how many times that nation could procreate. Because when the humans give birth, the genes is getting weaker. That's a fact. Every time they give birth, it gets weaker. One of the main reasons China is trying to preserve their genes by putting a salary cap or a cap on how many babies they could give birth to. They need to preserve that gene. They can't be out there just pumping. Yeah, they would. It's easier for people to swallow. Well, you know, China is small and there's over 1 billion people over there. It's overpopulated. China, the residents of China is not isolated to that territory. It's Chinese all over the goddamn planet. You know what I'm saying? All over the planet. They got to preserve the gene. Because every time they have babies, the genetics strand get weaker of that nation. The generation strand gets weaker. So now you know they got to branch off and find the most dominant gene, which would be the so-called black race. Race mixing all have to do with replenishing the genes of a dying race. That's what race mixing is. That's the whole gist behind race mixing. All got to do with replenishing the genes of a dying race. But it's more easier for people to accept, well, you know, we shouldn't be biracial, you know, we should mix and breed. But when you cross breed blood, what do you have? You have a hybrid. You have something that is not natural. A black man having a baby with a so-called white man, a so-called black man having a baby with a so-called white man, that's a cross-breed genetics right there. That's no different than you eating a chicken. A chicken is a cross-breed bird. That's why it can't fly. So when you having babies with other races, you cross-breeding the genetics. So that is a hybrid, a fake body, a fake being, and it will be mixed out. That's why when they have sex, the genes will get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Then they got to do it again. Or we need to have sex 100 years from now. We got to have sex again with the so-called black man, so-called black woman. Because, you know, our genes is getting weaker. Because, you know, it's a hybrid. It is fake. They're supposed to be phased out of existence. They are a creation. This whole planet's supposed to be phased out of existence. Straight avocados, man. We holding up progress. Because we feel too damn much. We keep feeling. We ain't thinking. You know what I mean? But you know, people is waking up on the planet, man. They waking up. They seeing what it is, man. They seeing the game for what it is. It's all a game. The Matrix is the game, man. Matrix is the game. It's not a reality, man. Because real life ain't no game. Real life, it is no game. The Matrix is based on a series of games. That's why they have rules and regulations and acts. People are all acting. You're not a cop. You're just acting like one. You're not a fireman. You're just acting like one. You're not a bus driver. You're not a driver. Period. You're just acting like one. You're not a plumber. You're not a chef. You're not an aviator. You're not an agriculturalist. You're just acting. That's not an original biological code. That is a script that you read, that you downloaded. Now you acting it out. You know what I'm saying? It's all fake. It's all fake. A heavily sophisticated realm. You sit back and start thinking about this earth, man. Yo, man, I say, man, this is amazing, son. This is amazing down here, son. For real. This is amazing. This reality is amazing because it's a freaking clone, son. It's a clone, son. Like Morpheus said in the movie Matrix, nobody could tell you what the Matrix is. He said you have to figure it out for yourself. He didn't say you had to feel it. He didn't say you had to be you had to emotionalize it. He said you had to figure it out. So that means you gotta what? You gotta think. You gotta sit back and analyze, which means you can't use the ego. You can't use emotions. The ego is part of the matrix. The ego is the matrix. It's an extension of the matrix. You got to think. You got to see it. When he said see it, he doesn't mean visualize it. He means comprehend, because seeing got to do with comprehending. That's why they had on the temples the all-seeing eye. It doesn't mean the eye that visually sees images or objects. It means the eye, the pineal gland, which is connected to the soul, knows, the all-knowing eye, the all-eye of knowing, meaning that you know what this is. Yo, I know what that is right there, man. That's not what they telling me. I know that the earth is not round. That's what they telling me, man. I know this is not a van that I'm driving. It's a freaking robot. It has sensors on the dashboard. You know what I'm saying? I know that the tires doesn't have air in it. It has energy. There is no such thing as air. It's energy. I know that my lungs are biological batteries. I know this. You know what I'm saying? You know when you know something, nobody could tell you no different, because you know why? Because you activated the all-knowing eye. I ain't even gonna call it the all-seeing eye. You're going to call it the eye of knowing, the all-knowing eye. When you activate the all-knowing eye, you know all. You know the deception is pulled back from you. When you activate the pineal gland, the first thing you will do when you activate the pineal gland is what? You come out of the illusion. What's the illusion? The body. Immediately when you activate your pineal gland, the first thing that happens is that you come out of the illusion, which is the false body. I'm standing over my body, looking at my body down on the bed. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, holy sweat. What? See me curled up. From that point on, you should already know that matter is an illusion. Matter is the matrix. That point right there should let you know that matter is the illusion. Matter is a byproduct of light. We are the real light. You know what I'm saying? So when you activate the pineal gland, the all-knowing eye, you come into the reality. Now you can see Earth for what it is. It's a dimension for low light bodies. Straight up. It's a dimension for low light bodies. Everything looks different. It doesn't look like how it looked when you're looking at things through the matter. When you're looking at things through the soul, that's when you're really seeing how things work. But yo, man, I gotta get up out of here, about to take this client in. Donald?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's roll. I already know what it is.
Did you come earlier?
Nah, they just sent the message just now.
God.